Laden. Neues Jahr. Wie alt sind wir? 11, 12, 12. 12. Tammy fiddles with her forgotten, but as of sewing and give you weekly... What? Tammy fiddles with her forgotten bit of sewing. And gives you a watery smile. It doesn't seem like she wants to talk to you, for she'd never say it like that. You leave her be. Okay. Das ist nett von dir, dass du mir das sagst, weil ich hätte sie jetzt trotzdem angequatscht. And furthermore, your attitude towards your elders in general is entirely disrespectful. You find Judicot delivering a sketchy reprimand to Mars, who is doing her level best to look like she'd rather be anywhere else. You speak out of turn, you question the council's decisions. If you disagree with an order, you simply do not do it. I could go on. Do you need me to go on? Mars scolds. No, she replies. Judicot clicks her tongue. Honestly, I thought better of you, Marzipan, she chastises. You have the sort of natural leadership ability I remember from when I was a girl. Many years ago. Mars doesn't roll her eyes, but you get the sense it's a close call. You need to set a better example for the other children, Judicot continues. It's okay to have your own opinion, but you kids can't just do whatever you want. You have to follow the rules and respect your elders. I am setting a good example, Mars retorts, stomping her foot. Hello? The only reason we are here is because a bunch of people knew living on Earth was nonsense and decided to do something different. Judicot looks scandalized, but Mars just continues on. Maybe kids should have more authority. We are the ones with the new ideas that will take us into the future. Hey, don't speak for all of us. Stay quiet and respectful. Ja, sich in ein Gespräch von zwei Leuten einzumischen, muss jetzt nicht sein. Aber, ja, sprich bitte nicht für uns alle. Die haben beide recht, aber sie ist nun mal kindisch, ne? Weil sie eben auch aufstampft, wenn sie ihren Willen nicht kriegt. Stay quiet. Judicot stands up a little straighter. Excuse me, young ladies, she rasps. To whom do you think you're referring where you call on the bravery of those who left Earth and dreamed of a new world? I have been in command of this colony longer than you've been alive, she continues. Unlike you, I see that is a strength, not a weakness. For example, I remember a time when children would stay silent and learn from the experience of their elders. While back on Earth, in my day... Mars looks eyes with you and gives you a subtle can you believe this expression as Judicot goes on her formless rambles about how life on Earth wasn't entirely bad and how this colony could use a little old-fashioned human discipline. After a while, Judicot loses her train of thought and puts her hand to her forehead. Both of you, get back to your duties, she sighs. Marzipan, I don't want to have this talk with you again. Mars makes a disgusted noise and storms off. Storms off, storms off.
Oh, Glitzer, überall glitzert's. Schön.
Na, wie geht's dir? The sound of hammering things through the garden, and you find Call helping your mom to build a row of raised garden beds. Turns out some of the earth plants don't grow so great here, so we are gonna see if this helps, he says, taking a break to rub his face. Your man stifles a laugh at the smear of dirt it leaves across his cheeks. Nochmal, Cheeks oder Checks? Cheeks ist Wangen, Checks ist wahrscheinlich eher so Arschbacke, ne? beides.
Cheeks.
Ja, beides ist Cheeks.
Bottom cheeks.
Bottom cheeks.
Gut, your mom says we gotta worry about the nitrogen levels soon, he continues, but that hopefully we'll be eating just plants that grow here before then. Was hätte ich denn dafür gebraucht? Biologie. 16? 15. You approached one just as she's about to bite into a sandwich the size of her head. Mom says I'm about to hit my growth spot, she says, chewing with her mouth open. She says I got a hollow leg. Apropos, hollow leg, wie ist denn das mit Geburtstag? Wir haben... Achso, es ist ja... Ja, gut, hat sich erledigt. Bevor Late Pollen ist ja hier keiner zum Beschenken. So, also alle anquatschen. Das Stresslevel ist d'accord. Was wollte ich denn machen? Toughness. Heroic. You're still pumped from the last attack. Ah, physical, okay. Irgendwas physisches. Dice is scrolling through a novel on his hollow palm, completely checked out of the world around him. He startles when you tap his shoulder. Jeez, Cloudy, he grumbles, gesturing to close his novel. You catch a few lines about a dragon before the screen disappears. Dice flips up his collar and turns away. Can't you tell when someone's busy? Nö, kann ich nicht. Muss mir sagen. This planet is like a body, Tang muses, and we are a foreign invader, much like a virus. Also like a virus, we seek to appropriate the systems of this planet for our own gain. Co-opting is growing cycles, using its resources to build, etc. She crosses her arms and looks thoughtfully towards the wilderness. Is it any wonder we are prompted an immune response? So, was habe ich überhaupt als Geschenkzeug? Etwas für Mars, etwas für Tang bzw. Dice. Das dauert aber noch ewig, weil Mars hat in Early irgendwas. Early Wet? Ja, Early Wet. Und Tang hat Late Wet. Okay. Goodie. Ja, ich bin zwar um meine Mutter so ein bisschen drumherum geeiert, weil ich ja so ein bisschen wenig Schulerfahrung in letzter Zeit gesammelt habe. Aber man kann ja mal wieder anquatschen. You spot your dad playing cards. Achso, ja, er spielt wieder Strip-Poker. Okay. Ja, ich habe was zu tun, ist schon klar. Danke. So viel dazu. Machen wir Defense Training oder machen wir Toughness? Nee, was ist denn das hier? Physical generell. Combat. Also Bravery kann ich auch draußen sammeln, ne? Da muss ich jetzt nicht unbedingt hier rumgeistern. Sneak out. Ja, ich hoffe mal, dass ich da draußen auch so physische Fähigkeiten aufbauen kann. Hatte ich das nicht beim letzten Mal schon aufgeschrieben? Ach so, es ist ja ein neues Jahr. Gut, dann machen wir das halt so rum. You let your mind wander as you're walking and bumble straight into a field of gelatinous blobgrass. Look for path through it. Ach so, nö, das ist ja doof. There it is. You can hop along from that rock to that fallen log, then climb over those old pieces of surveying equipment. You get through the villainous blobgrass. You spend a bunch of time on it too, and it takes some tricky balancing. It's tiring. Stückchen. Was ist denn hier los? Nee, ich will erstmal die Wege freiräumen. The spark snow has been drifting around all day. Igniting? Was? Igniting? Teensy sparks where it touches the ground, but now it's really started coming down hard. Hard like jail. Hard like hail. Not soft like snow. Except this hail ignites. More like explodes on contact with solids. Find shelter and wait it out. This hail just won't let up. You sit for hours under a large mushroom-capped tree, watching the hail add to the already thick snowdrifts. You hear a chirping from overhead. There's a family of insects living in the gills of this mushroom. They rub their legs together, making a pretty little symphony of sounds. One drops down onto your shoulder, then zips back up as if it's on a thread? Freed? Was? Ne, Thread ist mit T. Ach, wie an einem Faden. Ihihi.
To thread something.
Ah, okay. Wie an einem Faden. Pfui. Okay, hier könnte ich so drüber. Ich gehe aber hier lang. Genoponics engineers have set up a worksite here using the roboplow to tear up the ground and prep it for farming. You don't want them to see you. They send you home for sure. Sneak or take a closer look. Sneak. Ich tu wieder sneake. Ach so. Ach so, verstehe. You sulk under the trees at the edge of the operation. The loud grinding on the robo-plow hides any noise you might have made. You spot Dice sitting in a clearing, but not before he sees you first. Instead of sneaking away as usual, he stays still as you approach. Like it's totally natural that he'd be sitting in the middle of the jungle so far away from the colony walls. Now that you think about it, you're a little glad to see him. You are so far away that you can't see the walls anymore. And it's really weird out here, and it's getting late. Dice stares unblinkingly at you as you approach. "Hi, Claudie," is all he says. "I'm going to tell on you, alles klar." Hi, Dice. He seems to be in a good mood, something you've seen very rarely. "Did you see Chief Savia Utopia out here?" Dice asks. "She has like X-ray vision eyes or something. She'll catch you for sure if you get too close. She caught me once and I got in big trouble. How about I show you something cool, and sneaking out would be our secret, okay?" He jumps up and walks a little way into the trees. You follow. Just a few meters away, the ground drops off and a large stone outcropping just out over a cliff face. Dice walks right to the edge without slowing. It's a long way down. "Come on," he says. Bravery. Ja, Gott, 25 kann ich noch. Wuss out. Nö. Nee, auch nicht. Was? Ich habe jede Menge Stressbonus weggekriegt. Wie das denn? Moment, minus Stress? Und you bravely step onto the rock and walk out to the edge with Dice. You both sit down, feet dangling over the precipice, and look out at the amazing view. It's incredible. You snap a picture with your holopalm, but you won't share it on the net. This is your secret, yours and Dice. Keep exploring. A beautiful vista. Ah, okay. Neat. Ach, das ist die Abkürzung sozusagen zum Ende. Das ist ja geil. Sehr geil. You come across a cluster of mush trees. They're not fully grown yet, but they're still pretty big. It might be good to harvest them before they get all gross and mushy during the rainy season. If you were older, you could probably cut them down and get some kudos for them. Give them a friendly pat. You like the mush trees. You give one a pat and are surprised when it moves under your hand. It's not a tree fur, but a camouflaged creature lying against the trunk. It's small and looks a little like an octopus or a starfish. Lots of long eggs wrapped around the tree like it's giving it a hug. Uh-oh. Okay. Schräg. The planet is full of all sorts of bugs. Little wigglers, hopping beetles, shining creepers, and snaily things. Oh my. You crouch in the long grasses and explore a square meter in great detail. There's so much to see. You don't even know what any of these things are. They might not even have names yet. Just watch. You stare with big eyes at the wonders of the natural world. Jetzt muss ich aber wieder zurück, oder? Jo. Nee. Oh ja, doch, geh mal wieder zurück. Oh, habe ich doch glattwegs Loot vergessen. Übersehen, sowas. So, ich hätte noch 16 Punkte. Es ist eigentlich relativ locker hier, also kann ich mich noch trauen. You stop for lunch, eating on earth treat grown from your own greenhouses. A watermelon, nice and sweet, like a more solid potato pod. You munch away, spitting out the seeds. Practice spitting seeds. You take the challenge seriously, lining up targets and keeping score. Your aim improves. Ja, aber nur vom Mund aus. Zählt das? Go home. Oh, you wake up from your latest recurring dream, a monster crushing in the colony gates and stampeding through the square. You try different strategies every night. This time you ran away from it and hide. It worked out a lot better than the dreams where you try to fight it. When you wake up, there are tears drying on your face. It feels real enough that for a moment you just lie in bed and with your eyes closed and try to calm your breathing. You barely rub your eyes and... Surprise! Oh, it's your birthday. Your dad leaps into your bed and gives you a big cuddle. Happy birthday, little tomato head. 12 years old. Wow, can you believe it? No, your mom answers for you, laughing as she hands you your presents. It was just yesterday. Antecedent was showing me how to change your diaper. Because it's your birthday, your parents have brought in food from the canteen so you can all eat together on your bed. As you stuff your face with savory tofu chunks, you open your presents. Which one is your favorite? A bouquet of exotic flowers? Oh, hübsch. Orange? Orange? Was? Ist das... Ach, das würde Sinn machen, wenn es auch grüne gäbe oder auch lilane. Ist das eine Kombi aus Rot und Gelb? Okay, Moment, das ist beides tatsächlich lila. Ach nee, Moment, das ist für Gier, ne? Fürs Werkzeug, für hier Dingenskirchens Gier. Ach, schon mal einer guckt. Empathie und Challenge. Ich gucke erst nach den Karten, dann gucke ich, was es ist. Für alle roten Karten. Das ist ja witzig. Das soll ein Ding sein. Ein Manticore, hä? Das hatten wir schon mal. 1 plus... habe keine Ahnung, was das ist, aber sieht cool aus. Stuffed Xenofauna from your dad. A photo honor from your best friend. Ich nehme mal das hier. They're exotic, because they came from Earth. I saved these seeds in cold storage for over 20 years just for this day, your mom says proudly. These are the first earth flowers to bloom on Vertumna. White astrantia. She pinches your cheek. They're special, just like you. As your dad clears away the wrapping paper and the dishes from breakfast, your mom folds her hands on a table and gives you a serious look. Uh-oh. So, she says, we've been here 2 years now. I know your dad and I have always said you're in charge of your schedule, but we've been keeping an eye on you. A loving eye, your dad interjects, stuffing wrapping paper into the recycler pin-up bin. A trusting, gentle eye. Administrator Zeke tells us you've been a big help with deliveries, your mom says, then chuckles a little. Well, they didn't use those words exactly. Your dad joins you again. So it's time to start thinking about how you're going to contribute to the colony when you're older. At the look on your face, he laughs. Don't worry, we are not going to make you get a job right now. We are just asking what you do want to be when you grow up. A farmer like you, no. Teacher like hell. A mom with 10 kids. Nein. Also, warum bei 10 stoppen? Wenn dann eine Fußballmannschaft, ne? Captain of the Sportsball Team. Pff, nee. A famous Idol. Helden sterben einsam, nein, danke. A Monster Hunter, nee. Governor of Atomna. Do I have to decide what? Gouverneur. Your parents chuckle fondly. Governor Cloudy, your dad says. That has a nice ring to it. Can your first decree be Taco 2 days? Udicott has to retire someday, your mom adds. She is right. You are not sure how old Udicott is, only that she was already ancient when your parents left Earth. You think she looks at least 100 years old. Do you have to be super old to be governor? Is that a rule? Well, your mom starts to get up. I'm sure your friends all want to wish you a happy birthday. She stops and snaps her fingers. Oh, you might not have considered a career as a depot clerk, but AI and Bernie, Al and Bernie mentioned their daughter Mars is working there, and she needs some help. Now that people can freely order luxuries, it's pretty busy there. Sure beats shoveling dirt, your dad laughs. If you don't take this job, you tell Mars I'll be right there. Your mom rolls her eyes and smiles. So, was haben wir denn hier so jetzt mit den Punkten? Also Reasoning kann ich im Grunde genommen knicken, ne? Engineering habe ich auch noch nichts großartig geleistet. Dann die physischen Sachen sollte ich halt jetzt weitermachen, ne? Combat und Animals. Dass ich ein bisschen mehr über die Viecher weiß. Das hatte ich bei der ersten Runde auch, dass ich mehr über die Viecher wissen wollte. Und trotzdem habe ich sie alle abgeschlachtet, wie so ein Schwein. Was mit dir? Oh, hey, Claudie. Mars says, breezing past you. I'm sorry, can't talk or no. I'm on my way to work on command. She stops when you don't sound amazed enough. You know, the supply depot, she clarified. It's the most important job in the whole colony. Anything that gets made here goes through my first. Mars' smug smile gets somehow even more smug. Plus I get the first pick at all the best stuff. Could I work there with you? Well, Mars hems and haws. So I suppose it is a lot of work to do alone, and I do like you. We should stick together. Whatever Mars does is to pull administrator seek strings works, because an hour later you get a message from them on your holopalm. They're dubious that you'll be able to rise to the responsibilities of the role, but that's nothing new. Seek is dubious about everyone and everything, but I agree, Mars would be more efficient if she had someone else to keep an eye on her. So, jetzt muss ich mal kurz gucken, wie das jetzt mit den Punkten hier ist. Kriege ich da jetzt Persuasion and Organization? Organization, will mich verarschen? Ah ne, Perception. Perception. Persuasion. Also doch nicht Reasoning. Ne, Reasoning geht allein durch Biologie, also durch Klasse. Also hier ist es einmal im Depot arbeiten. 9 Kudos, 5 Kudos, okay. Ja, Persuasion brauche ich, ne? Aber der Engineering brauche ich auch. Oh, hallo, bist du bereit zu reden? Tammy beams when she sees you. Like there's nothing better in the world than the sight of your face. Happy birthday, Claudie, she exclaims. She comes in for her annual birthday hug, throwing her arms around you and giving you a great big squeeze. Yeah, I got you this, Mom. Kuchen! Share. Und sie holt sich natürlich wieder ein Stückchen also ein großes Stück für The Call, damit der groß und stark wird. Also mit dir. Ich will ein bisschen anschnauzen. Muss ich auch noch Männchen machen. You tell Tangent, you know where Dice has been going. You tell her he has been sneaking out to explore the jungle. Not far away, but outside the walls. Tang looks concerned. Really? She says, wringing her hands. Is he safe? Is it safe? Probably not. She gives you a pained look of frustration. Thank you for being honest, I guess, she replies. Ich hab nichts für dich. Ein Mädchen ganz nach meinem Herzen, ständig am Fressen hier. Nicht Quatsch. Die rennt ja auch wirklich die ganze Zeit umher, dann darf die auch futtern wie ein Berserker. Also, Combat. Part of self-defense is training your body so that it can be ready for any situation. The security chief has you running laps, jumping through tires, climbing walls and sprinting back and forth. He has this inverted anti-gravity pad that makes your limbs feel super heavy. When you do jumping jacks on it and then do them again in normal gravity, it feels like you could jump straight back up through the wormhole. It's exhausting, but not that different than sports ball training. I push myself too hard. Warum krieg... Da hätte ich 20 gebraucht. Ey, danke. Okay, I push myself too hard. You're getting stronger every day, but at what cost? You go home every night and soak your aching muscles, hoping that you won't hurt as much in the morning. You feel like you're getting your butt kicked. Ah, dafür über 5 Punkte. Getting your butt kicked. Ach, ich hatte nur eine Runde. Ach, Schande. Das habe ich gar nicht gecheckt. Ach so, nur eine Runde, das sind die Story-Dinger. Und mehrere Runden sind normale Challenges. Ach so. Ah, okay. Ach, ich hatte den Stress ganz übersehen. Ach, Schande. Ich muss ja erstmal schlafen gehen. Jupp, 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 da war was. Habe ich nicht drauf geachtet. Okay, da ist wohl nichts Neues, ne? Sonst wäre ja dann... Nee. Wo habe ich denn... Ach so, hier, auf der... Bei der Garrison ist das, ne? Relax on the walls, ja. After the first attack on the colony, they added lookout towers to the walls. Now you have a place to hang out if you don't feel like working, and because it's all the way up here, no adults are going to come ask you to run any errands for them. On rainy days, you take shelter under the pavilions and listen to the pitter-patter of warm raindrops on the grass roof. You can do whatever you want. This is life. The perfect place to slack off. It's nice to keep watch. It's a good place to study. You pack your holocolors. The wall is great vantage point to examine the wild jungle outside the colony. Your independent study even counts towards class credits without having to actually be in class. Das ist sehr schön. Reasoning! Endlich! Danke. Oh, Herr Claudi. Bryce pops his head up a nearby ladder and looks surprised to see someone else here. Do you mind if I sit here too? Sure, there's plenty room. Heck yeah, come sit beside me. Just keep your stinky downwind. Sure. The two of you dangle your feet off the side and watch the valley below. Dice shuffles a little uncomfortably and doesn't say much. You wonder if this was his private spot to be alone before you discovered it. Ja, es ist zwar, ne? Es ist zwar ein Joker, aber es ist halt ein -1. Das ist auch irgendwie doof. Next month. Was mit dir? You slip through the colony gates, feeling the breeze from the mushroom forest ruffles your hair. You look around for Dice, but he's nowhere to be seen. Maybe he went to class today. Probably not. As you are about to return to the colony, you hear what sounds like crying coming from one of the expedition vehicles. You pull back the tarp that keeps it from being blanketed with fungal spores, and you find Dice curled up in the cabin. He whips his eyes and turns away. Go away, he mutters. What's up, crybaby? Ja, ganz nett. Are you okay? I'm fine, Dice snivels. Just leave me alone. This is a great hiding place. Coming in. Do you want to talk about it? Ja, ihm auf den Sack zu gehen ist jetzt auch nicht so das Geilste, ne? Why don't you go ask my sister, he grumbles. Tang is so mature. She knows everything. I'm just a sensitive little crybaby who doesn't know anything. Dice wraps his arms around his legs and hides his face in his knees. I hate her, he mutters. Everybody thinks she's so smart, but she's just a big meanie. I hate everyone here. I hate being here. I just want to be left alone. Ei. haben wir denn das mit den Punkten? Engineering haben wir noch gar nicht, oder? Weiß ich jetzt gar nicht. Doch. Nee, haben wir nicht. Ah, hier. Using Congruence HoloNet shadowing system is almost a test on its own. You feel like a hacker navigating the confusing interface, but manage to add your name to the list of drop-in students. You are now eligible. Was? Yeah, eligible to join Tangent and some of the other students in engineering class. What's this? Studio 1 und Reasoning. Okay. Okay. Das hört sich schon mal gut an. Das hört sich gut an. Was ist denn das hier nochmal? Ah, Persuasion. %10% Chance, um einen Bonus zu kommen, wenn ich die Fähigkeiten verbessere. Ja, dann gucken wir mal hier. Reasoning. Engineering. Er ist ja noch am Leben, ne? Professor Hall rubs his hands together as he waits for the class to settle down. He's in great mood. This must be his favorite subject to teach. If biology and chemistry are the wet science, then engineering must be a dry one. But believe me, this class definitely won't be dry. He winks, it's a word. Well, we'll also be learning math, physics, computing, robotics, architecture and astronomy. Tangent raises her hand. So, ich muss auch drauf aufpassen. Ich bin mir nicht sicher, ob in diesem Jahr kommen sterben könnte oder ob das erst nächstes Jahr ist. Ich meine, es war mindestens ein Jahr bevor eben mein 15. Geburtstag war. Also, ich weiß nicht mehr, ob ich... Also ich war mit 13, glaube ich, durfte ich schon nach draußen, außerhalb der Mauern. So wie ich jetzt auch schon rumrenne. Also würde ich Toughness und Combat würde ich versuchen dann auch nochmal zu steigern. Bei Toughness wäre es ganz gut, wenn ich schon bei 20 wäre. Aber ich glaube, ich hatte damals auch extra Toughness gesteigert, um überhaupt rauszukommen. Und trotzdem hat es nicht gereicht, um beim Angriff im Zwischenwinter sozusagen mitzuhelfen. Oder war es Bravery? War es Bravery? Das müsste dann eigentlich reichen. Ich weiß es nicht mehr. So. Will we also learn about nuclear engineering, she asks. Professor Hall nods. Yes. At a beginner level, we'll have an overview of atomic theory and take a field trip to the engine rooms to learn how our ship's nuclear reactor works to power the colony. Cloudy, can you come to see me in class? Professor Hall pulls you aside in the hall. Congruence sliding along beside him. You follow him cautiously. Don't worry, he smiles. You're not in trouble, far from it, in fact. Wieso? He grabs your hand and shakes it firmly. I never thanked you for saving my life, he chuckles. Er sieht sich selbst gar nicht ähnlich auf dem Foto hier, auf dem Bild. Professor Hall and I are very grateful for your bravery, Congruence says. Phil, you should have been in the creech just this once. It's good you disobeyed orders. Oh, it was nothing there. Will there be a reward? Do they think the thing that attacked you? Ah, Hal looks unsure. No, but Congruence filled the engineering room with sulfuryl florid for a few days. Fumigated the place. Hopefully that got it, whatever it was. Hell wings. Good thing you were helping me in the classroom when the attack started, right? He laughs and leans back against the desk. Inadvertently sitting on something that pops and gives off a shower of acrid smelling sparks. Whoops, he says, leaping away from his desk. Danger looks everywhere. Claudie, keep your head on a swivel. Swivel? Swivel. Das ist nur eine Runde, okay. Nee, bin ich doof. Hier, so rum. Wieso geht das jetzt nicht? Ach, hier +1, verstehe. Okay. Cool. +3. Geil. Your dad comes back from work one day looking seriously under the weather. He's pale, with deep circles under his eyes, and he keeps sneezing. It's fine, he insists. It's just all this pollen in the air. It's gunking up the whole air tubes. Do you remember hay fever, flu? We always got it back on Earth too. Your mom frowns and crosses her arms. We did? She agrees. So why it isn't bothering me? You're a lot tougher than me, sweet pea, your dad says, and your mom rolls her eyes. I'm sure I just have to get used to it, like you did, he continues. Maybe I go for a stroll outside the gates later, really get a good flunkful of the stuff. I feel bad for a few weeks, but after that I'll be fine. Your mom raises both eyebrows. Outside the gates? You? Your dad shrugs. Then he falls into a fit of sneezing and can't answer. Your mom directs him to go lie down on their bed. You need rest, not machismo. Machismo. Wie wird das ausgesprochen? Das ist, weil dieses Zeug ja jemanden dazu veranlasst, sich nach draußen zu bewegen, ne, um das Zeug zu verbreiten. Machismo. Das ist wie BSE bei den Ameisen, ne, die auf die Grashalme klettern und sich ganz oben an der Spitze des Grashalms dann festsetzen, damit die Kühe sie äsen können. Nee, weiden. Äsen ist ja eher bei Rehen und so. I don't have a your dad sneezes. A macho bone in my body. Foo. I have to fertilize the corn and the pixie beets this week. Uh-oh, your mom grunts. Your dad pulls a handkerchief from his pocket and sneezes into it 3 times. Big, yelling honk sneezes that echo through your whole quarters. He pulls it away from his face and you can tell that something's wrong. Huh? Your dad says weakly, holding the handkerchief away from his face. It's bright fuchsia pink and glittering in the light. That's weird. Then his eyes roll back in his head, his knees buckle, and your mom yells for you to call Instance. Chief Engineer Instance takes your dad's vitals and gives him a cursory look over. Cursory. But she seems satisfied with what she sees without having to do a full examination. The explorers have started calling this the shimmer, she says, shining a light down your dad's throat. He's looking a little better, but not much. It's an airborne environment toxin, like in the pollen fog. This is way more dangerous than you think. Okay, jetzt hänge ich mich wieder aus dem Fenster und alle gucken mich blöd an. You've dreamed about this. It's super duper dangerous. Your dad just gets more and more sick every year. He could die if he's not careful. There's no need to panic, Instance says dismissively. Your dad is in excellent health otherwise. Alright, you've only 12. You remember being older when he... The adults are so stubborn. They are not going to listen to you, and even if they did, the shimmer is still out there. You can't keep your dad inside forever. You're going to have to find a cure. You've done it before. You can do it again. Time to go see Tang and Instance in engineering. Even after one day of bed rest, your dad is looking a lot better. He's clearly anxious to get back out into the fields. Your garden loved this new crop, Claudie. It's called a pixie bean. They glow in the dark. He already pulling on his boots. The fields look so beautiful at night. I'm happy that we finally found something that would actually grow here, that isn't soy, and more soy. Dad, pixie beans are dangerous. You dreamed about these beans. They make people act all funny and then they get sick. Your dad laughs. Someone's been reading too many word horror novels before bed, Claudie, he says, ruffling your hair. Don't you worry about it, my little potato. I've been studying them since we landed, including eating them. He gestures broadly to himself. Look at me, I'm great health. Incred. What is with no one believing you? Just because they're dreams doesn't mean they're not real. Your dad is acting pretty strange, but maybe it's just a shimmer brain. You remember the pixie beans mostly affected the teenagers. You wish you could remember more. You know I wouldn't lie. I don't like them either, your mom cuts in. I agree we should be trying to cultivate native crops, but something just feels off about these ones. She shudders. Can't stomach the idea of eating something that glows in the dark. Who knows what that's doing to our bodies? Your dad sighs. Outvoted, huh? He says, even though your mom's vote is the only one that counts. Your mom takes your father's hand and looks him in the eyes. Thank you for not forcing me to pull rank, she says quietly. We should still grow them, but I'm not ready to put all our resources behind them just yet. Your dad agrees. The field will be sowed with earth crops this year. You can't exactly remember the details, but you think it's going to help. Your hull pump pulses with a message from Tang. Hey Claudie, if you're not occupied, could I ask you for your assistance in the lab? Thank you in advance. Tangent. Ach ja. Laborratte. Typical Tang, but her asking for help is something so rare that you can't help but head over right away. You find her hunched over a spectrometer, making notes on a holoscreen. Oh, you're here, she says, blinking rapidly. She looks like she's been awake for days, wrinkled, a little shiny, and with the eyed look of someone who needs a cup of black tea. I came as soon as I could. I just happened to be nearby. How can I help? I'm researching the shimmer, the respiratory illness for some people report during pollen, she says. I'm loath to admit it, but I need your assistance. She takes your vitals with swabs insides and puts them into your hands. I need recent salvia samples from both of you and your father, she says. There must be a reason why he's so Susceptible. Susceptible.
Susceptible.
Susceptible. To the shimmer, and you are not. You share half of your genetic code with him. There must be some marker we can compare between the two samples. Then she continues pulling along another vital from a rack of test tubes. Administer this to yourselves, wait 3 days and take the samples again. The test should be able to determine if anything in your body chemistry has changed. Tang looks at you very seriously, cutting through her blurry expression. There's something going on here, she whispers, something really, really big. I've begun to realize this is about more than just curing a disease. She squeezes your hand so hard it almost hurts, unlocking the secrets of the shimmer, who it affects, and why it could lead to a greater understanding of all life on Batumna. And knowledge is more than power, Claudie. It's control. Are you okay? You seem unhinged. Okay, I'll do it. Thank you, Tang says. I've been researching so hard I think my eyes are going to fall out of my head. And for what? Well, for the end of the debilitating disease is a pretty good reason, but Tang just shakes her head at herself before you can answer. We're at a disadvantage here, she mutters. We're fighting blind. We need to understand this planet if we are going to get it under our control. Ja, Kontrolle ist eine Illusion. Leitpollen ist Kuchen. Hab ich doch noch, ne? Habe ich ja geschenkt bekommen von ihr. Einen Monat lang Kuchen aufheben. Ach, das könnte ich verschenken. Okay. Ich weiß gar nicht, wem habe ich die das letzte Mal geschenkt. Sie steht doch auf Blumen, ne? Alter, kriegst du nächsten Monat von mir eine Blume. Oh, Tammy is crying and trying to hide it, whipping her eyes and blowing snot into her sleeves. Stop sniffling like a baby. Was denn für eine Arschantwort ist das? What's the matter? She hiccups. I watched that scary movie last night in the lounge. You remember it? Mothra vs. Godzilla. The 2085 fifth Remake Version. Also es gibt einige, ja, aber das ist ein bisschen übertrieben, ne? Obwohl, vielleicht ist das Jahr gemeint. Well, sniffling, I had a bad dream where the monsters were knocking at my bedroom window. They were trying to get in. Now I can't stop thinking about it. She squeezes her eyes shut and more tears sweep out. I miss my dad. He used to make me feel safe from the monsters. And I miss being in space. It was so much safer there. Im Vakuum. So in der Blechbüchse. Schön, ne? Space was more dangerous? Nein. The soldiers will keep us safe. Was für Soldier? Mothra and Godzilla aren't real. Das ist ja alles Kacke. Wenn ich jetzt von den Soldaten anfange, sagt ihr auch, welche Soldaten? Ja, ich kann ja sagen, ja, The Rev ist ja ein Soldat, ne? Okay. I hope so, she sniffs, but I can hear the monsters at night sometimes. Real ones, out in the jungle. I can hear them trying to get in. They're scary. You both look towards the wall. She does have those big ears. Maybe she really can hear creatures gathering in the jungle, scratching at the walls, looking for weak points. The thought gives you shivers. Unangenehm. Sehr unangenehm. Okay, es ist kein Loot hier. Keiner von denen So, wie war denn das jetzt? Noch ein bisschen Loot draußen zusammenklauben. Eigentlich schon, ne? Dann bin ich sozusagen schon ein bisschen vorbereitet. Und hoffe, dass ich damit auch genügend Punkte haben werde. Habe ich das auch übersehen? Meine Fresse, nein. Das kann ja... Das ist ja echt schlimm. Himmel. So viel Zeug übersehen. Okay. You minding your own business when you stumble into... This low valley has collected a lot of thick pollen. You caulk and try to push your way through it, but it's pollen all the way down. Surveyors get nice helmets with built-in masks, but yours is just a cheap one. At least the pollen isn't too thick here. Try to find a way. Runde 1, okay. Achso, nee, nur die roten. Achso, verstehe. Lash. This pollen makes your face itch. It makes it all the better when you find a route to high ground and come out of the forest of it. At the top of a rise of the east, you think you spot someone watching you. They are dressed in black. Is it dice? But they look way too tall to be dice. Maybe another surveyor? You blink and the figure is gone. Hike over there and look for clues. You bushwhack down into a valley and up to the other path to where you thought you saw them standing. No signs of a camp or anything obvious like a dropped pack. No note saying I'm watching you, signed mysterious figure. Spooky. stream cuts through the path here. There must usually be stepping stones across it, but the water's too high to cross safely. Bravely jump over. You bravely fall in and get wet. You flounder towards the other side, soaked but victorious. Victorious. Soon, new perk. Draw an extra card at the start of challenge. Effekt was? Nee, das war was anderes. Naja, stinky schon wieder. You spot a suspiciously regular amount of dirt. Maybe something is buried there. Could be dangerous though. Poke it with a stick. You cautiously break off a branch and prod the suspicious mound, watching closely for signs of movement. Nothing. You poke further and discover it's in fact just a regular pile of dirt, nothing more. Some farmland has spilled outside the walls. The fields don't look like they are doing very well. Nobody around it right now. In fact, it looks a bit abandoned. There are some meager looking crops ready to harvest, but animals are starting to get at them. Salvage. Was ist Salvage? Retten, bergen. Salvage. You pull up a handful of wiggly tubers, and they're probably supposed to be potatoes, eventually, or maybe yams. It's hard to tell. You dig around a little longer, but it's all pretty picked over. Go home. Ich hätte sehr gern bis zur 40 und dann mache ich den anderen Krempel noch. New Perk. Ist das jetzt doch? Nee. Keine Ahnung, was das jetzt war. So. Dran denken, Tammys Geburtstag. A sports ball goes sailing over your head. 4! One giggles as she jogs up to you. That's what they used to say on Earth when a ball would go into the crowd. I like it. present. Tammy looks on the verge of tears as you hand her the white flower. This is one of your mother's flowers. I can't believe you're giving it to me. Are you sure? You nod and fold her hands around the steam. Thank you, Claudie. Thank you so much. Bisschen eine goldige. No. Tammy is sitting quietly in the lounge, seemingly not doing anything at all. As you approach, she looks up and dabs her eyes, sniffling a little. Oh, sorry. Don't mind me, she says, putting on a brave face. Sometimes I just think about how much I miss my dad. Oh. Ja. Das Mausel. So, ich quatsch mal einfach alle an, ob ich irgendwas Bestimmtes tun kann. Ich glaub's ja nicht. Wenn, dann eher mit ihm, ne? Bravery und so. 40. Dare you to go into a restrict area. Okay, das würde ich gerne noch austesten. Das habe ich beim letzten Mal nicht machen können. Is it? Relax in the lounge. You look around the lounge. Some friends are here. Who do you hang out with? Anemone, Carl, Tangent. Ah, Anemone. Hey, friendo, one says. I was just gonna get out of here, but you can come with me. I'm gonna play some sports ball. Da kann ich aber kein Relaxing Time, oder? So much for relaxing. One grabs you by the arm and marches you to the sports ball pitch, where she strikes up a game of sports ball that is not strictly regulation. You make up your own rules, even robbing her 3 younger brothers into play. They are young and they kind of suck at stuff, but it's still fun. Eins für jede ungespielte Karte. Das ist schon praktisch. Ich habe aber, glaube ich, 2 davon, also von daher ist es jetzt nicht so schlimm. Nee. Doch nicht. Hab ich doch nicht. Okay, nee, dann weiß ich. Ne, behalte ich mal noch. Jetzt, da ich ja das mit dem Straße auch besser schnall, ne? Was ich vorher irgendwie ganz übersehen hatte. So, das ist jetzt Early Dust. Anemone hat Geburtstag. Was willst du? One and Nougat are kicking up a huge cloud of dust outside the garrison, passing a sports ball back and forth and chasing each other around. One looks up as you approach and flays excitedly at you. Claudie, hey, she says, jumping up and down. Look it! Look! She bounces the sports ball on her knees. Look at what Nougat and me are practicing. One bounces the sports ball from one knee to the other a few times before launching it up into the air. She crouches, leaps up after it, and spikes it with her head towards Nougat with a yell. The sports ball thuds into Nougat's chest, sending her sprawling to the dirt. For a second you freeze, waiting for the crying to start. Instead, Nougat shrieks and laughs, clutching the ball as one jumps up and down and pumps her fists dramatically. 4 points for the ball not touching the ground after contact, one crows. The crowd goes wild. The Garrison Galaxy win again. Woo! Nougat cups her hand over her mouth, imitating the roar of a crowd. Not crowd. I could do better. Wow, that's awesome. I know, right? One beams. She stands up straighter and puts her hands on her hips. I'm gonna be just as good as my big bro, someday, and Nougat will too. She rubs the back of her hand across her nose, leaving a smear of dirt. Hey, you should come by the sports ball pitch sometime. I can show you some tricks. One and Nougat look at you expectantly. Okay, I will. Yay, great, one says, bouncing on her feet. Can't wait. I'm so excited. Sports is my favorite thing in the planet. Her eyes goes wide. Maybe even in the whole galaxy. Me too, Nougat yells, from where she's still lying on the ground. She picks herself up and carefully puts the ball down in front of her, then kicks it to Anemone. Did you see that? One laughs. She kicked the ball with her foot. Nougat's a natural. She's already inventing new ways to play sports ball. Future coach, Nougat. Nougat puts her hands on her tiny hips. If you come to practice, you gotta play, she challenged, pointing at you. Nemi says, I get to be coach, so it's my rules. You and one burst out laughing. Nougat is such a little character. Die hatte ich vorher gar nicht so kennengelernt. Ich habe anscheinend mit Anemone viel zu wenig interagiert. Ich habe die erst kennengelernt, als schon Gaga am Dampfen war. You don't see one, she sees you first. Tag, she exclaims, pouncing on you from behind. You're it. Cool, thanks, one says, taking the egg. I get it is my birthday this week. I kind of forgot. So, wie ist denn das mit den Herzen? Bin ich relativ gut dabei? Geht so, ne? Ich bin bestimmt weiter als beim letzten Mal, aber nicht so krass weiter. So, wie war denn das? Bravery. Also, Bravery kriege ich ja hier durch Sport. Aber ich krieg's auch hier, wenn ich hier draußen rumeiere, ne? Von daher... Da kriege ich auch zwei. Und Perception. Aber da kriege ich halt auch Toughness dazu. Ja, komm. Machen wir in einem Aufwasch. When there's no sports ball game on, the security teams who train nearby use the field to practice with long-range rifles. As you show up to sports ball practice, Com is helping take down the net. Sorry kiddos, he says, Rev wants us practicing with the big guns today and we can't have you running around the place. The bullets in these drone rifles are heat-seeking and even for they are programmed to avoid human targets, safety first. But today was supposed to be our day to have the sports ball field, Call complains. You soldiers don't even want to play sports ball, you just want to shoot your dumb noisy guns. One bounces over. Hello? They have more than just guns, huge guns, they have cool stun gloves that are like magic lightning arcing? Nee, wie soll man das? Arcing? Arcing.
Arcing.
Funkenfrei.
Arcing.
Ja. Arcing. Arcing out of your fingertips. It's super galactic. Cal shakes his head. That's not the point. Stand up to the soldiers. Let the soldiers have the field. Okay, das wird mir jetzt wieder Punkte mit Anemone kosten und Rebellisch wahrscheinlich noch dazu, aber die Karte ist halt geil, ne? You rip the net out of Com's hands and start putting it back up. Anemone looks nervous. Here comes Security Chief Rev. He looks scary, angry, Claudie. Don't back down. You stand your ground when the Security Chief tries to intimidate you. With his loud voice and his big chest, today was your day to use the field. Rev sees the fire in your eyes, and after a minute he laughs and gives in. "You're a tough one, huh, Cloudy?" he says, a twinkle in his eye. "Okay, you're right. Today was your day to use the sports ball feet. Come, we'll have to train with something else today." That wasn't so hard. Fear bravery. Geil. It's time for the 3rd annual Vertumnalia festival. You gather with your family in the colony square. Everyone takes a seat as Governor Judicot approaches the stage. She folds her hands and serenely addresses the crowd. "What a pleasure to address you all today as your governor," she says, looking as pleased as she ever does. "In under 3 years we've built a colony of which we can be truly proud. While we suffered hardships and losses, we remain standing, as always looking towards the future we are building together. Let us use the Midsummer Festival as a time to reflect on our many blessings." Judicot continues. "Fresh water, good food, healthy children, and a strong community." You look around at the crowd, your friends, your parents, and the other adults who have been the background radiation of your entire life. These are the closest human beings around for light years, and they are all your family. Judicot bows her head, but first we recognize the passing of our dear friend Chief Surveyor Melatonin, known for his gentle nature and his curious spirit. Tonin is survived by his daughter, Aspartame. Achso, Tammy here. In the crowd, Tammy sniffles loudly. "In his place we will welcome our youngest council member ever, Utopia, representing expeditions." Judicot invites the rest of the council to stand and be recognized among the crowd, including your mom, who huffs in annoyance. When the applause dies down and the council sits, Utopia remains standing. "Actually, Auntie Judicot, you're all mind if I just make a quick announcement?" Judicot nods and Utopia clears her throat. "I just wanted to say thanks to you all who are trusting me with this job," she says, her clear voice ringing out over the crowd. A cheer rises from expeditions, and she mentions for them to quiet down. "Uncle Tonin's left some big shoes to fill, and well, I'm gonna give it my best." We are fixing to get to the bottom of what we are calling the shimmer, the sniffles folks we've been getting during pollen, Utopia continues. "Until we do, please keep on wearing their masks when the pollen is thick, and let the doc know if you're under the weather." She bends down to hug the governor as she leaves the stage. "Thank you, Utopia," Judicot says warmly, "and thank you to the rest of the council for their service." Live music starts playing and Judicot smiles, and now it's time for games and feasting. The crowd disperses towards the feasting table, clearing the area of chairs so the children's competitions can be held, which will you do this year? War das dieses Jahr, dass Judicot stirbt? Don't even watch. Don't even watch. Vertumnalia games. You're not a kid anymore. Everyone has fun without you while you pick at the feast table. Ja, ich fress mich blöd. Sehr schön. After the festivities, you take time off for a much-needed, well-relaxing break. Your dad sets up a slip and slide through the colony square, and everyone takes turns sliding on their stomachs and spraying water at each other. It's a lot of fun. You can feel your worries floating away in the hot dust sun. Mit Dust hat Geburtstag Nomi und dann hat Call. Für Call habe ich noch keine Frucht gefunden. Ah, Blümchen. Sehr schön. 40. Geile. Da kann ich jetzt gerade... Oh. Was? Hello, Claudie. Tammy bounds over to you. I have a present for you. She presents you with a gift. It's wrapped in homemade wrapping paper, scribbled with hearts and flowers. Open it, she says, bouncing on her toes. You open the gift and pull out a handmade stuffed animal. Its lumpy, unlovable face gazed up at you, a prisoner of its own misshaped body. You're not entirely certain what kind of animal it is. His name is Minky, Tammy says proudly. I'm making them for all the kids I babysit. You told me once that your favorite toys are stuffed animals, so I thought you might like one. Give it a hug when you're feeling scared. Reject the gift, no. Nochmal Empathie habe ich zwar schon, aber was soll's. You thank Tammy for her gift and she claps her hands in front of her heart. I'm glad you like it, Claudie. I worked really hard on it. Ach, das soll... Hä? Ist das ein Helm? Soll das Vieh sein? Hä? Ah, mit Gems. Ja, die Gems kommen ja später, von daher gar nicht schlecht, aber... Hä? Hä? Wo sind die Dice? Ah, da steht er. So. There you go into a restricted area. Das macht er ja eh. You dare dice to explore the creepiest, darkest part of engineering, deep down where even Chief Engineer Instance never goes. Under a recycling room where they say there are ghosts. You set the mood and then sneak around behind him. Put your holopalm flashing under your face and shout, Boo! Value is wild. Das ist eine gute Karte. He rolls his eyes. Claudie, think about it. If there were ghosts in this spaceship, one of them would be my mom. Oh, yeah, you guess that would scare a normal person, but I still isn't scared of anything, yeah. Was ist mit dir so? Mars is priming. In a holoscreen she set up to act as a mirror. You never know when someone important is going to talk to you, she says, twisting and retwisting her hair around her finger. And no, I don't mean important like the console. Blah. She smiles primly at you. I mean, whoever is going to end up being my first kiss. I don't want them to remember the time they saw me when we were kids and I wasn't absolutely at my best. Ihr erster Kuss war ja von irgendjemandem von der Helios, ne? Hat ja mit jemandem da rumgeknutscht. Nee, obwohl, wir haben ja Spin the Bottle gespielt. Genau, Spin the Bottle haben wir gespielt und ihr erster Kuss war ja im Grunde genommen, sie hat ja Tang eingegeben. Apropos Spin the Bottle, mit wem bin ich denn hier im Moment noch so am besten? Tammy. Weil Anemon ist zu jung für so einen Käse, ne? Die hat da keinen Bock drauf. mache ich jetzt? Also Bravery habe ich genug. Engineering würde mich jetzt noch interessieren. Reasoning. Beim letzten Mal Spin the Bottle, Flaschen drehen, habe ich ja mit Dice geküsst. Der hat so ein bisschen schräg da reagiert. Fand ich jetzt nicht so cool. Soll ich noch ein bisschen Babysitten machen? Empathie? Nö, eigentlich nicht. Ne? 25 Persuasion. Weiß ich nicht mehr. Was waren da noch außer Empathie? Kreativität, okay. Nee, noch ein bisschen Toughness. Schaufel ich ein bisschen Dreck. Hey Squid, your mom calls out to you. Don't you think it's time to start thinking about what you're gonna do when you're older? You look at her in confusion. Isn't she always telling you to stay in school? She chuckles. You gotta think about it sometime, kid. How about you come join your folks on the farm if you think you're up for it? Don't think I'm ready. You need to brush up on your life sciences before you're ready to become a farmer. It's a complicated job. Hä? Value is wild. Wieso? Punkte. Keine Ahnung, wie ich da jetzt noch mehr Punkte rauskitzeln soll. Das halt. Toughness 21, sehr schön. Das ist jetzt eigentlich Calls Geburtstag. Aber der steht ja auf Kuchen, genau. Der steht auch auf Kuchen. The sound of hammering. Ja, I found something you might like. Bevor ich jetzt call late dust. Ja. Cal gasped. My favorite food! And on my birthday too! He makes grabby hands at the cake and takes a big huff on the pleasant sugary smell as his eyes slip closed in sheer pleasure. Wow, Cloudy, he breathes. You are really the best of the best. Here, you have a piece too. Let the icing melt in your mouth and let all your worries melt away with it. Worries. Toughness. Oh, want to train together? Need toughness higher than 20. On your way to the sports ball pitch, one shares the story about the time her brother once spiked the ball so hard that he broke Utopia's nose back when she used to play sports ball too. She describes it in gory details. -2 für gelbe Nachbarkarten. Ach, das ist ja witzig. Das sieht aus wie ein Waze. But don't go easy on me, she exclaims. That's why we have mad bets, right? Plus, I might get a cool scar. She thumbs a blue scale scar on her jaw right under her ear. Good. Organization. Bravery hatten wir ja gerade eben miteinander, ne? I dare you to. 80. Klappt. Da bräuchte ich Biologie für. Da bräuchte ich Animals für. Organisation. Okay. Combat 23, Toughness 22. Ich habe noch 3 Monate Zeit. Beziehungsweise, das würde ja wahrscheinlich dann auch wieder Stress bedeuten. Bravery habe ich ja. Persuasion. Habe ich eigentlich genügend Organisationspunkte für dich? Irgendwas? Ach nee, Persuasion brauche ich bei dir. Okay, dann machen wir das hier Persuasion. Seek rolls their eyes when they see you report to the depot for your first day as a clerk. Oh, it's you? They deadpan. Well, at least you might learn something useful while you're here. The depot is where the precious nanoprinter lives. Seek lords over it like a tyrant, and they don't like children. They load the depot module on your holopalm and walk you through the process. People submit requisitions for the nanoprinter through this portal, they explain. It's your job to program the correct routine into the nanoprinter to fulfill their order. Then you mark it as if available for delivery or pickup, depending on if we have a delivery person available. See grumbles, and we almost never do. with that perfectionatory explanation, Zeke leaves you to figure out what to do on your own. It's okay for the first hour or so, because no one puts in a requisition at all. It's pretty early. Maybe everyone is still asleep. Das letzte Mal habe ich ja auch hier alles so ein bisschen geputzt. There isn't a lot to organize, as you don't store a lot of stuff here except for things that people need all the time, like toothpaste. But you find a bucket and start to mop the floors the old-fashioned way, because there's nothing wrong with taking pride in your work. Very funny, Kyle. Ja, fill the requisition. Beim letzten Mal konnte ich zwar das anklicken, habe ich es aber trotzdem nicht gemacht und wurde dann ausgelacht, aber sowas, was soll's, ne? Dann kriege ich halt einen Lacher ab, ist auch nicht schlimm. Ja, Mars lacht mich aus, lalala. Maybe we should share responsibilities. I don't care which one of you is in charge, as long as the work is done. Mars can hardly wait until Zeke is gone to giggle. Either way, I'm glad you're here. This job is usually so boring. 19. Zwei Persuasion und 4 Organization. 19, noch einmal. Und dann Combat. Also diesen Monat das nochmal machen, dann irgendwas mit Combat und Toughness. Kriege ich so schnell nicht hoch. Dann würde ich doch sagen... Und die Empathie würde ich mir mit Gier zusammenschustern. Obwohl, wenn das Riesenvieh angreift, dann brauche ich auch keine Empathie mehr. Also wirklich nicht. Perk, equipped an action. Ja, okay, das ist gut. Cards with gems. Bonus to straights. Collectible. Early Wet. Ihr Geburtstag. Mars laughs, taking the crystal and turning it over in her hands, inspecting it. Well, I've had better birthday gifts this year, but I admit this crystal is pretty fabulous. I'll add it to my collection. Mars is watching a bit from Earth on a holophone. She gestures you over, and you sync your holophone with hers. The audio track comes through your hear speak. Mars knows every word. Beside you, she recites the dialogue imperfectly along with the actors. Since the day we met, I devoted my life to finding you. I searched every train station, every coffee shop, every museum and park for you, she says. My every waking thought was only for you. Her voice goes higher. And I dreamed of you, she says. Every night my heart called to yours in the dark. I never hoped to dream I would find you again. I'm here now, she says, playing the first part again. I'm here and I'm never leaving your side again. Was für ein Film soll das sein? Ist ja furchtbar. Mars drags the hand down her face as the couple in the wit kiss passionately. Ugh, she exclaims. I've seen this word 100 times, and the end always makes me want to yells. They met on a train once and spent forever looking for each other. Like, move on, you know. It's not like living here where there are only like 100 people to pick from. You're in a huge city. Go find anyone else. Why do you keep watching it? Mars sighs, exasperated. I've already seen everything else worth watching. Before you can protest, she puts up a hand. Okay, fine. I do like the city parts. Like, isn't it post-real to imagine cities so big you could get lost in them? So many people that you could meet someone and then never see them again in your life? Mars waves away the windscreen. Sometimes I think I should have been born back on Earth, not on this dumb spaceship. She mock punches the hull of the ship behind her. All those cities and people, all the stuff you could do, watching new wits, going to concerts. The only culture here is grown in a lab. Mars sighed dreamily. And the shopping. They have so much stuff on Earth. Anything you could dream, not just the rubbish our old nanoprinters can make. I'm bored of everything I own, Mars complains. Speaking of shopping, do you want to trade some kudos for one of my old jackets? My dad say I can't print more stuff until I get rid of something. I'd say 50 kudos sounds fair. 20 per... Holy heck! Sure, why not? Mars takes off her jacket and watches critically as you try it on. Well, it matches your hair, she says, but it kind of puckers at the shoulders. It was really tailor-pointed to fit me. She almost looks like she's going to take it back for a second, before putting her hands up in surrender. No, I admit it looks good on you. Makes you look posh. Geil. Plus Bonus zu gelbe Straits. Krass. 39. Holla. 30, das ist auch gut. Das ist auch gut. Das ist so ein Marking Point, ne? Also 30, 40, 50, alles so bestimmte, das ist ganz gut. Da fehlt mir ein Punkt. Das wäre natürlich gut, wenn ich da irgendwo noch einen Punkt zusammenklauben könnte. Ich bin mir nicht sicher. Ist das in Humanities? Könnte das was bringen? Study Humanities, Persuasion, 2 Punkte. Ja, Kreativität ist wieder was mich nicht kratzt, ne? Obwohl, Kreativität, wie es Gewitter will, ich habe ja den Virus nicht hochladen können. Und je nachdem, was da in dem Moment passiert, hätte ich vielleicht sogar Kreativität gebraucht. Das wäre ja schon krass gewesen, ne? Das wäre schon krass. Da habe ich dann wieder was zum Hinarbeiten. Tammy is waiting for you at the door to the lounge, and cheerfully thrusts a stack of lovely wrapped tiffins into your hands. They're still warm. Special delivery, fresh from the kitchens, she says. Eat up! You pop open a tiffin and see that Tammy has sculpted the rice to look like a rabbit, complete with little seeds for the eyes. Ah, sweet! Wie viele Punkte haben wir zusammen, dass du so total schnuggelig bist? 4 Herzen. Sie ist mehr so die mütterliche Figur, ne? Füttern und, ne? So. Also zumindest war das bei meiner Oma so, ne? Die immer, hier, iss was, ne? Damit ihr groß wirst. You find one in the sports ball bleachers, intently focused on her hologram. She looks frustrated by whatever is on it. Wow, are you actually studying? Ditch that, let's play sports. What's up? I don't know what to get Com for his birthday, she grumbles. I have the top last year, when I made up a sports ball trophy and gave it to him. She turns off her holopom. I'm just running out of ideas, you know? What kind of stuff does he like? Sport. You should get him something practical. He appreciates something from the heart. Blah. Was Praktisches. Also er ist ihr großer Bruder. Irgendwas, was von Herzen kommt, ja. Aber was ist damit bitte schon gemeint? Ich meine, bei ihr wird es vielleicht ein Ei sein, weil sie auf die Eier total abfährt. Oder sie kratzt sich ein bisschen einen Schorf von der Brust oder so. Ist ja nicht. Boah, was Praktisches. Der Typ ist. Der ist selber schon sehr kreativ. Okay. Was mag er denn so? One shrugs. I don't know, cool stuff? Like sports ball and defense squad stuff? She smiles and rubs her nose. He's the best brother. He always plays with me and the triples, even if he's zonked from work. And he never gets mad or teases when I get in trouble. He's just like... One sits up straighter and squares her shoulders, imitating Com. You know, Mammy? He says, lowering her voice, you have to play by the rules. One picks at a blue-scaled scrap on her knees. I love him the most other anyone here. I just wanna get him something good. Praktisch. Praktisch, würde ich sagen. Yeah? One says. I was thinking that too. Like I didn't wanna get him a little kid gift, you know? Like how Mom taught us how to make stuff with macaroni and glue. She winkles her nose. Or how Tammy always gives people weird dolls. What's up with that? The problem is, what should I get him? She continues. He can already print basically anything he needs with the nanoprinter. A new canteen, a pair of sunglasses. Sunglasses. That's not a bad idea, Ron replies. It does get pretty bright here. She nods. Alright, it's settled. I'll print him a pair of sunglasses. Hey, Squirt. What are you doing up here? You look down at the pitch where Com is standing with a sports ball under his arm and an easy smile. Is this knucklehead bothering you? One gasps, then laughs. Com! She whines. Claudia is my friend, we're just talking. Com drops the sports ball to the ground and rolls it under his heel. I'm getting the team together to run some drills. She can come too. One looks at you hopefully. Sure, I could use the practice. One cheers and scampers down the bleachers, launching herself into a full body hug with Com. You follow her decent more cautiously, listening to her chatter with Com about her day as they walk together across the pitch. She really loves her big brother. Oh, 2 Freundschaft. Und Toughness. Nett. Nett. Wie gesagt, Persuasion. Überzeugungskraft, das kriege ich ja nicht, ne? Das kriege ich... Nee. Nee. Also Persuasion noch und dann recht würde ich Toughness Combat versuchen. Beziehungsweise... Ich muss ja aufpassen, dass ich nicht zu viel Stress habe. Obwohl, ich könnte es auch draußen noch ein bisschen mit Combat probieren, ne? Ich kann mich ja mit dem einen Vieh anlegen, bevor das Jahr rum ist. Und dann halt im letzten Monat auf jeden Fall darauf achten, dass ich ganz wenig Stress habe. Falls hier wieder Rambazamba ist. Also, es wird Rambazamba sein, aber dass ich mitmischen darf. Schau, was war's jetzt? Persuasion, ne? Mars insisted on being the one who talks to people and takes requisitions, while you work hidden in the back loading packages onto the conveyor belt. You pop a package on it and slide through the little door to the front room. Mars plucks it up and presents it to Professor Hall with a flourish. "Thank you for brightening my day with a smile," Hal says, thanking it. "It's always nice to see you working hard on Marzipan. Here's a little something extra for you." He taps his holopalm and leaves with a whistle. Mars glows and calls after him. 10 kudos? Thanks, Professor Hall. I'm going to buy so many saw sticks." "It's not fair. You're the one running around the back doing all the heavy lifting while she gets all the credit and kudos. And you won't want those kudos because you're saving up for something. You want to be rich one day. It's just the principle of the thing." Mars sees your barely controlled anger and can't help but rub it in. "What?" she says innocently. "Are you jealous?" Convince her to split. You swallow your anger and calm yourself. You tell her you're fine with working in the back, but you should split the tips 50-50 between you. Mars agrees. "It's just natural," she says. "I'm better at talking to people and you're better at finding things in that big old mess of a warehouse. We make a good team." Ja, die denkt sich da nichts bei. Die braucht jemanden, der sie leitet, obwohl sie eben auch wirklich gute Leitfunktion hat. Aber, und sie ist ja auch offen dafür, also von daher nicht hier ausflippen, also wirklich. Card becomes mental blue. Okay. Mhm. Es geht besser. Aber wie? Boah, keine Ahnung. Habe ich jetzt auch irgendwie keinen Nerv dafür, was soll's. Ich bin mit den Punkte über meinem Limit, beziehungsweise über meinem gewünschten. Von daher ist in Ordnung. Royal Blue or Peacock? Mars asks, holding up 2 different jackets. Or should I just recycle both and have the shop nano print a different color entirely? She folds both jackets over her arm and sides. Or a different material? Translucent, maybe. So many choices. At least I have more than enough kudos to burn. Tell her about your day? Okay. Mars is always talking about how she's bored and wishes there was more to do here. But there are 100 reasons where Tumna isn't boring. You try to list them all. There's all the cool plants and new constellations to look at. And just yesterday you watched a door's mob squeeze through a crack in the wall no animal should be able to fit through. Mars listens politely, but starts yawning halfway through. Less bored is still bored, when it comes to Mars and Vertumna. Okay. Wie ist es denn? Hat das ein paar Punkte? Ah, ein bisschen, ne? 34, ja, okay. 44. 41, okay. Mit Wet. Wer hat ne Geburtstag? Waze hat da Geburtstag. Ja, wie juckt's? Für Tangent und für Dice hätte ich 2 Wurzeln jeweils. Oh, ich habe sogar 3. Geil. Hi. Tammy smiles when she sees you, then lets out a little noise of dismay. Claudia, your clothes are full of holes, she says. Bring me those pants tonight and I'll mend them right up for you, okay? Die ist ja echt wie eine Mutti, ist ja furchtbar. Also nett, aber so unsexy irgendwie. Tang eyes the colony walls distrustfully. If we are to make our home here, we must be better prepared for the fact that whatever was here first will attempt to drive us out. Who's to say the aliens are not at this very moment preparing a second attack? Wieso second? Ach so, von 10 bis 11, von 11 bis 12. Nee, wir hatten doch schon 2. Hatten wir nicht 2? So, ich wollte eigentlich draußen noch ein bisschen rumschnauzen, oder? Also hier 30, hier 42, perfekt. Hier ist über 40, hier ist Organisation, Animal, da komme ich sowieso nicht rechtzeitig über 20. Also könnte ich schlichtweg da draußen noch so ein bisschen rumgurken. Und dann nächsten Monat entspannen. So, jetzt noch ein bisschen Viecher schubsen, beziehungsweise gucken, ob ich noch irgendwo mal wieder Loot vergessen habe. Das Leuchten hat ja jetzt erst angefangen. Das ist bestimmt irgendein Perk, den ich nicht gerallt habe. There, in the clearing, the most majestic creature you've ever seen. It's like a unicorn from your dad's storybooks, but with leathery reptile skin that shines with the light hits it. It moves so softly, like it doesn't even disturb the ground. It could be dangerous, but you want to see what it does. Be as quiet as possible. Eat some snacks while you watch. Das ist natürlich jetzt schwierig hier. Set neighbors to this value. +1. +3 während gelben Challenges. As you settle in to watch it from behind a strand of mush trees, the Unicorn looks up towards you. Startled by your movement, you try to hold perfectly still and quiet your breathing. After a tense moment, it goes back to its business. First, it sniffs out a good tree and rubs the scent glands in its neck against it thoughtfully. Then it pees, like a crystal waterfall on a rock. Everything it does seems magical. You quietly take a picture with your holopalm, but you know you can't share it, or you get caught for sneaking out. Next, it sharpens its horn against a rock, which is scored with marks from having done this before. This must be its favorite sharpening rock. You notice the bulge in its stomach. It must have had a huge meal recently. Eventually, it curls up for a nap. You quietly sneak away. This was so wonderful. Vertumna is a magical place. Ich hab keinen Stress. Ist das geil. Ach, das ist ja super. Das ist ja super. Das heißt, ich muss im nächsten Monat vielleicht gar keine Entstressung machen. Ich könnte dann vielleicht nur irgendwas Kleines tun. Okay. Oh, obwohl. Hop eyes are usually docile little creatures. They don't even come up to knee-high. They eat grass and hop away when you come near. But something has reared this group up. You see them fighting each other, getting in close, then rolling onto their backs and kicking with their big foot, putting each other up to 2 meters away. It's neat behavior, so you sit and watch until you suddenly realize you're surrounded. They stop fighting with each other and are all staring at you. They pounce. Defend yourself. 27, 3 Runden, okay. Okay, alle Karten werden zu 1, klar. Wenn ich das nehme, kriege ich 12. Wenn ich das nehme, kriege ich nur 11. Nur so. Das wäre eh alles 1 gewesen. Okay. Okay, es ist das Höchste, was geht. Also von daher ist es in Ordnung. The cute little critters kick you, but you kick back. You send them scurrying back off to pick on smaller creatures than you. Nicht übertreiben halt, ne? Oh, Blut. Ja, brauche ich eigentlich nicht, ne? Aber ich kann ja, wie gesagt, bei der nächsten Monat kann ich ja doch noch, you leave the path and sneak through a strand of mush trees to one of the little sawmills dotting this area. It's a small but busy operation. 3 people feeding mush trees logs into some kind of machine, while a fourth one directs a 4-legged robot with a plasma saw mounted on the front. Stay and watch. Leave in disgust. Ja, nehmen wir mit. You stay out of sight. Even the smaller trees and bushes are getting ground up for mulch. Ja. Das ist mir nicht wirklich klar gewesen, dass die tatsächlich hier nichts aufforsten. Beim ersten Mal habe ich das entweder mal überlesen oder es hat mich nicht gejuckt. So. Okay. Ich denke, ich habe jetzt wirklich alles gekrabbelt, was ging. Go home. Ja, ja. Go home. Okay, was haben wir da jetzt? Immer noch genügend. Organisation, Toughness, Combat. Wenn ich Combat 40 brauche, ist eh egal. Das ist so weit davon weg. Achso, Tang. Tangs Geburtstag. It seems you remembered my birthday, Tang says, taking the roots and turning them over in her hands. Ja, ja, Distaste, ja, Dreck dran, bla bla bla. My dads are so uncool. Mars complains. Mars, do your homework. Mars, you should help out more. Mars, we're going to cut off your allowance. She scoffs. As if, right? That money is mine. I earn it. With a toss of her hair over her shoulder, she seems above it all entirely. Doing what? Do you even have to ask? My presence enlives the dreary colony. I'm their beloved daughter. They own me. Get into debate. Okay. Mars would never stop to using her fists to get her way, but she loves a good fight nonetheless. You ask her what she would have done differently if she'd been the captain of the stratospheric when you landed, and her eyes go wide. She launches into a laundry list of shoulda-wouldas, and whatever she says she would have done, you offer reasoning for why it wouldn't have worked. Spoil sport. After a little while of this, Mars is positively invigorated. Wow, you really thought all about this, didn't you? She says, cracking a little smile. You're totally right. It's a lot more complicated than just making decisions and telling people what to do. Thank you. It's so important to have people like you around to keep me on my toes. She cracks her muscles. Okay, but when I'm governor, I will do so much better than the others can. Okay. 80, aha. Ja, kriegen wir irgendwie hin, ne? Also, oh. Das hätte ich gebraucht für Call. Nee, Quatsch, habe ich gar nicht gebraucht, hat ja Kuchen gekriegt. So, wie gesagt, 40 Stresspunkte, das reicht eigentlich, ne? Da kann ich ein bisschen bei den Kindern aushelfen, denke ich, oder? Empathie. Das bringt auch Kreativität. Ja, die können wir mal so mitnehmen. Wie es Gewitter will, brauchen wir das irgendwann vielleicht doch. Plus 10, ja, 10 Stress ist in Ordnung. Nougat bites on of the other kids. Bitte was? Nougat bites on one of the other kids, but claims it was an accident and their arm just got in the way of my mouth. You have a conversation with her about how teeth are not to be used as weapons. No matter how tasty or in the way your friends look. Nougat, take a bite, huh? Echt jetzt? Okay, das war 18. Set neighbors to this value. Oh, wait. Wait. Ding? Ding. Ding, ding. Ja, auch nicht. Okay, 20 ist bis jetzt das Höchste. Ich meine, brauche ich auch nicht mehr, aber... Das war 20. Das war 17. Also 20 ist tatsächlich das Höchste, was ich hinkriegen könnte. Angeblich könnte ich es noch höher, aber... Okay, lassen wir so. Gut. Glow. Ach, Dice habe ich vergessen, Geburtstagsgeschenk zu geben. Naja. Ja, habe ich mit dem jetzt eigentlich schon... Weiß ich seinen Geburtstag? Nee. Ich meine, er ist ja ein Zwilling. Ich habe noch kein einziges Mal was gegeben. Scheibe denn. Klois der. Okay, also das haben wir alles drüber. Pass auf. Ich kann ja auch auf der Mauer entspannen. Oder ich mache Defense Training. Ja, es könnte hinkommen, wenn ich tatsächlich beim Kampf mitmischen möchte. Hätte ich vielleicht noch genügend Stresspuffer. We drill on emergency protocols and how to shelter in place in addition to the regular fitness courses. Glow has everyone on edge, waiting for the inevitable attack. 18 Punkte. 1 ist locked. Ich wollte ja eigentlich meinen Krempel nicht verschwenden für sowas. Ich wollte es hier wirklich nur verschenken, aber bis Karl Geburtstag hat, habe ich hoffentlich wieder eins. 2 data points from a line, but 3 is a pattern. The colony has been on high alert all grow, hoping that the creatures from beyond the wall don't return for a third year in a row. Surveyors keep reporting that they are seeing unusual animal activity. Even the plants seem different, they say. And new tracks that must have been left by creatures larger and heavier than you've ever seen. You and the other colonists drill evacuation plans. You're in engineering when you hear the siren ring through the colony. You cover your ears against the noise and make your way to the nearby classroom. This is one of the assembly points, so you should be safe here, but it wasn't so safe last year for Professor Hall. What if another creature gets in? You look at Professor Hall and he looks back at you. Last year you saved his life, right here. Hal clears his throat, visibly trying to stay calm. All right, children, he says, subconsciously touching his neck. Just remain seated. I'm certain everything will be fine. You've been told this before. As the sirens continue, you're faced with a choice. Try to leave, sneak out. Bravery 15. Try to leave, sneak out. War nicht Judicott in dem Jahr diejenige, die starb? Sneak out. While Professor Hall is distracted, you crawl out from behind a table. What are you doing? Mars whispers angrily, but you ignore her. You creep along the back of the room, then quickly duck out the classroom door and sprint down the hall before anyone can chase you. You slow to walk as you near the outer doors of engineering. Something doesn't feel right. You stop to listen in the dim emergency lighting and hear the metallic popping of something overhead. In the ventilation ducts. Your blood goes cold. Monsters. They're here. You follow the sound to a workshop and force yourself to look up through the slats of the vent. You gasp. 2 glistening bug-like eyes peer down at you. No. 4. 6. They blink in syncopated pairs. Then you hear it. Over the sirens, a soft pinging noise, halfway between a chirp and a purr. The creature critters spider-like from one side of the vent to the other. A small furry tentacle slides through the slats, searching for the vent release. When it can't find one, it bangs its body against the inside of the vent, denting the metal. Taming it. Animal challenge. Try to scare it away. Help it escape? Need empathy. Das hat beim letzten Mal hat das ja nur insofern geklappt, weil die Viecher ja so von außen gesteuert werden, beziehungsweise ihre Instinkte werden durch diese Geräusche und ja, die Programmierung sozusagen werden die gesteuert. Wenn ich ihm jetzt helfe und entweder greift es mich mal wieder an oder jemand anderen. Das wäre natürlich richtig Mist. Aber the critter skitter spider-like from one side to the vent to the other. A small furry tentacle slides through the slats, searching for the vent release. And it can't find one. Wohin würde das denn rauskommen? In das Schiff rein oder nach komplett draußen? Schande. Help it escape. Boah, das kann mir so jetzt auf die Füße fallen. Seems like the right thing to do. You open a side door, then the vent, and carefully shoot the creature outside. It runs over the outer wall, flattens its body, and burrows through a hole. At least you figure out how it got in. Maybe you'll see the little guy out in the wild someday, and it will remember what you did for it. Vor allen Dingen, wie kommt... Die Viecher kommen ja irgendwie rein. Durch diesen Drang, überhaupt reinkommen zu wollen. Und dann mittendrin wollen sie einfach nur raus? Hä? It isn't long before the sirens turn out, ringing 3 short pulses at the all-clear message flashes on your holopalm. You and the other children file out of engineering and you head back to your quarters. Your parents will want to know that you're safe. Kleine Tiere haben Judicot getötet. Das habe ich noch im Ohr. Beziehungsweise so halb vor Augen ist. Das habe ich gelesen, dass kleine Viecher sie getötet haben. Ich habe es jetzt beobachtet, wie es rausgeht. Wenn es das Vieh war, wenn es nicht nächstes Jahr vielleicht ist. Your dad gives you a big hug, but your mom slumps into a seat at your small table. It's like they were going specifically for geoponics this time, she mutters, but your dad pats your hair and shushes her. I'm sure it was just bad luck, Flu-Flu-Bell, he says, but your mom shakes her head and folds her hands in front of her mouth, staring out the porthole window at the fields. Dann war's es ja drauf. Dann war's es ja drauf. Dann muss ich beim nächsten Glow muss ich da schauen und in Erwägung ziehen. Okay. Tangent is standing still with her face held up to the sky, letting blue snowflakes land on her cheeks. They melt almost immediately. She doesn't move as you approach. After a minute she winces and rubs her eyes. That stinks, she says, because it's made of acid. Sounds gross. Run away from the acid snow. Klingt eklig. Acid? Snow? Tang nods. Professor Hall says it isn't harmful and is an important part of the natural cycle here. It freezes at 12 degrees Celsius and turns into tiny crystals that are so heavy they fall from the clouds. You can see them under a microscope. It tastes kind of sour but sweet, she observes. Fascinating. She seeks their tongue out and lets some of the flakes fall on it. Tang pulls a sample jar out of the coat. We know what it's made of, but our understanding is incomplete, she says, and places a jar on an outcropping of rocks. The big mushrooms changed in shape and color before the snow began to fall. I wonder, is this some sort of signal that precedes the changing of the seasons? What happens if it exposed samples collected in dust season to snow from quiet season? A small, excited smile creeps across Tang's face. There's so much to learn about his planet. I can't wait. You and your brother are so much alike. Tang narrows her eyes. Yes, we used to get that a lot, she says. I guess it's still true if you think sneaking out of the colony is the same as valid scientific research. She frowns at you. He's so dumb, she mutters, and shoves her hands under her arms. He only cares about feelings, especially his own. Das nächste Mal muss ich echt. Ja, dadurch, dass ich ja so viel draußen rumgerannt bin, habe ich ja auch so ein bisschen Herz mit ihm, ne? Aber, naja, sie ignoriere ich ja so ein bisschen. Ein bisschen zumindest. Okay, also, fürs nächste Mal. fürs nächste Mal. Und all physical skill increase for 3 months. Sehr schön. Save. New Save. Was mache ich denn als nächstes? Physical halt, ne? Okay.